Hi, welcome. This is another episode of the AFCON Daily Show on Citi TV. My name is Nathan Carl. Many thanks for joining us. This is the show that guides you through the AFCON. It's a great accompaniment to the live action, wherever it is you get your live action in terms of the AFCON, which is being played in Cameroon. We certainly love to hear from you. So send us a thought, a comment, question, query, anything you want to send us on the number 0550-585832. That's the number right there on your screen. Hashtag Citi Sports GHA, hashtag AFCON on Citi. Would love to read those comments wherever it is you send us, from Ghana or outside Ghana and all over the continent. Catch us on in Ghana, free to air or satellite or digital. And then if you are watching us via DSTV channel 363 and GoTV channel 182, it's always fun having you around. We'll take a very, very quick break. When we come back, we get into the show. We look back on what happened yesterday, look back to a long day of AFCON action, including the Black Stars' epic, important game between themselves and the Comoros. All that happening right after this break. Don't go anywhere. This is the AFCON Daily Show on Citi TV. Welcome back. This is the AFCON Daily Show on Citi TV. My name is Nathan Carl. Once again, let me introduce my wing men. Let me start off from the touch screen. Susu Graham, hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
You're good?
Oh, very good. Very excited for today's game.
Okay, I'm sure we'll get into a lot of the touchscreen patterns, data, numbers. I love that kind of stuff. Fenton Tahiru is here without the jacket. Hello.
Hi. Yeah, today I've decided that I won't do Ibrahim Tam. Because every time I come here, you accuse me of being somebody else.
No, it's not that. I'm just saying.
Today I'm just me.
You're just you.
I am just me.
Tahiru look. Yes. Lovely watch, though. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you. Somebody got it for me.
Right. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
The same way someone got your watch for you.
No, this I got myself.
I don't know that.
I'm telling you.
Show me the receipts.
I have to call the dealer.
Yeah, you have to.
All right.
Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. Aren't you nervous or something?
Never.
Really?
Yeah.
The Black Stars don't mean much to you anymore.
It's not that, but what's the worst that could happen? They lose, they get KO'd. They'll be fine.
I wouldn't be fine. So trust me later.
I completely understand.
I certainly would be fine.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those things where, you know, maybe you expect it to happen, but when it happens, it's still disappointing.
I mean, to be honest, I'm confident. I think that this game should not be that much of a major problem.
It's not about the winning. It's the possibility that you could still win and not go through.
I get that, but we'll see.
You know, then you would see that you've thrown away quite a massive opportunity. Yeah. So, I mean, that's always the disappointment.
Okay, we'll see how it goes. That game is at 7 p.m. Daniel Cranston has also joined us. Hello.
Hi, Nathan.
I love the look. Lovely tie.
Yeah.
Today we didn't go Paisley.
When the ties finish, we'll be here.
No, there's more. We didn't go Paisley today.
Same way your jackets are finished.
My jackets are finished.
How you say you are doing your own look?
Doing your own look.
We've seen you.
Oh, man. Boys just have no chill. They have no chill.
You didn't just do that.
You have no chill. On national television, live, all over. Let's have a look at the results from yesterday. There were two games all in Group A. It was Burkina Faso 1, Ethiopia 1, Cape Verde 1, Cameroon 1 in those two games played in Group A, and that's how the cookie crumbles in there. Cameroon on 7, Burkina Faso on 4, Cape Verde on 4, Ethiopia on 1. Now, Burkina Faso qualified in second place because of a better head-to-head against Cape Verde. They beat Cape Verde when they met. Yes, so that's how come they are second. They finished second in that group. Cape Verde are looking at their points and they are praying, hoping that things will fall their way as the other group games are played between now and about Thursday or Friday or so. Let's get into the action. Let's start off with that game involving host nation Cameroon. They changed their kit. Lovely yellow kit, I must say, there. And they were the home team on the day. They were the away team, the designated away team on the day. That's why they had their kit changed. Cape Verde were the home team. They also decided to wear their white jerseys. Lovely stuff there. In the end, it ended 1-1. Vincent Aboubakar has his 5th goal of the competition. But dear me, they came really, really well. I think they were good value for a point. But they probably even deserved more.
Yeah. There are those that think that perhaps, especially the performers in the second half, maybe they should have had more than just an equalizer. Perhaps they deserve to win. But you know, it's the nature of the competition at this AFCON. The quality teams will always the quality will always shine through whenever called upon. That is not a chance at all for Vincent Aboubakar, but he smashed it into the bottom corner. Nothing the goalkeeper could do about that. Those flying shots coming in here and there. It was a slightly changed Cameroonian team. Lots of French players were given the opportunity, and then we argued before the game that that it doesn't matter what team they put out there, they still would have enough to beat Cape Verde. How wrong were we? Yesterday, Cape Verde, and what a lovely finish. This really is in contention to be maybe goal of a tournament, because nobody could have seen that he would have the guts to do that. Look at that, And Onana and his fellow defender, they were eating. Oh goodness me! I mean, that was ruthless. That was ridiculous. But what a golden opportunity there for Vincent Aboubakar again, and he missed. This was a really good chance. All he had to do was guide it on target, but he put it wide. And then this chance as well, a brilliant takedown, wonderful finish. But in the end, the goalkeeper was in the right place. And then they had it covered. So I think overall, you have to say that Cape Verde, they played their hearts out, but I don't think necessarily that they should have won. I think the clearer opportunities possibly even fell to Cameroon. Even though Cape Verde probably had majority of the possession for some spells of the game. I just loved one thing, the atmosphere inside the Olympic Stadium. Everybody in it, everybody in there was talking about it. And this was a stadium that was at 80% capacity, not even 100%. So if all 60,000 fans were in there screaming, and I think if Cameroon were to make it into the final, they'd probably make it 100% just the one time. But I like how they've supported their team, and I think that's always the most important thing when it comes to AFCON tournaments. When the home team is getting a lot of support and they are progressing, it's always good for the tournament. It is bad for the tournament when the home team gets knocked out very early on in the competition. So this is good, and I think generally even it looks like attendances have picked up since the start of the competition. Some of the grounds
look very empty.
The first round
of group games.
Largely helped by the new decree from Paul Biya, which has now allowed school children and workers to go to work and school early and then close early, so they can go and watch the AFCON matches, which is a really good thing. Right. Yesterday, I saw visuals of school children lined up all around the streets, trying to get access to the Paul Biya Stadium. If I were them, I would include free entry for students as well, because I think it's a dream.
Coordinated entry.
I don't think any of us can ever forget what AFCON 2008 was like for us. It's special, and it's something that you never forget. Maybe some of us were maybe in the stage of early adulthood, but those who were children like Susu Graham, I mean, it must be. Susu, you remember AFCON 2008?
I remember how excited I was for the opening game. I think it was Guinea.
Guinea.
It was my first time ever going to a football stadium to watch a match.
You never forget that.
I never forget, exactly. And I was a bit nervous because we weren't winning, and then the last minute goal, I was so excited.
Yeah. Right.
I also remember how sad I was when we lost to Cameroon. I think I even cried. I was so frustrated at the time, wasting tactics. So imagine making it free for school children. They get in there. They are going to have memories that will last a long time, because judging by the number of years that always pass before Cameroon hosts another tournament, we could be looking at another 30 years before they come back to host the tournament. So you never know.
Daniel, I want to get your thoughts on Vincent Aboubakar. Is he the standout player of this competition already after 3 group games?
Nathan, is Vincent Aboubakar the standout player already?
I'm asking you.
Is water wet?
So of course he is.
It's water wet.
5 goals in 3 games in an AFCON.
There are players who will only score the goals, right? But never probably grab the headline.
He's being everywhere.
Look, he's a big player.
Literally.
And figuratively also. He's absolutely fantastic. He's one of my favorites, and I'm sure everybody who follows this particular platform will be very well aware of that. he's one of those players who always shows up for their country, and I love players like that. It doesn't really matter where he's playing his club football. When he puts on that Cameroon shirt, you see a top class performance from him every single time, and that's what I love about him. Yesterday, if you watched his body language, and that's what we spoke about before the game, I said that because he's on 4 goals, I'll be very surprised if he doesn't get an opportunity to grab more, considering the opposition they were facing yesterday. So if you watched his body language, you could tell he wanted to get as many as he could. He really wants that goal king. If Cameroon cannot win the competition, at least the goal king should come from the home country. And for Vincent Aboubakar, it's not just him, but I like his partnership with the attacking players around him. It doesn't really matter who he's playing with. In this competition, it's been Toko Ekambi, who is, in the first game, we saw him sort of sacrifice himself to allow Vincent Aboubakar to have the limelight. In the second game, at times he was scoring the goals, at times he was getting his body in the way for Aboubakar. But I like that sort of partnership where 2 goal-scoring forwards seem to understand themselves, have that proper understanding, and then we can get the results too.
Well, Vincent Aboubakar, if you ask me, he's most standout player who's lived up to expectations.
Does any player even have 2 goals?
I don't think so.
It's rare.
No,
Wabi Kazri.
Yeah. Wabi Kazri.
Yes, Wabi Kazri has 2.
Yeah. Okay.
After missing a penalty.
So that's the closest to Vincent Aboubakar.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Not a lot of strikers are living up to expectations.
The Malian, what's his name?
Ibrahim Akoni, 2 penalties.
Yes.
2 penalties.
So 2 is the nearest player to him.
Sebastian Aller has 1. Andrea Ayew 1. Kelechi Iheanacho 1 goal, 1 assist.
Salah 1.
Salah 1.
Soon to be 4.
Soon to be 4, all right. So numbers, what do they tell us? At face value, the game was end to end. It was really enjoyable to watch. But do the numbers tell us anything that probably the mortal eye may have missed?
Well, just before I go in, last AFCON, Odin Igalo won the Golden Boot with 5 goals, which Aboubakar has equaled. So, but I think the record for most goals in AFCON, I think we talked about, is about like 10? 9. So he's still a fair way away, but it could easily happen.
Looking at how he's scoring, clearly, I mean, he could easily make 9.
Oh, yeah. And I think
that was the Ivorian, right? Ivorian striker who had the most goals at the AFCON before Eto'o broke the record.
Laurent Poku.
I think the 9 was scored by a
Zambian player.
This was in 74.
Zaire player.
Yeah.
Zaire. But anyway, back to the match,
All right.
Like I said, Aboubakar had a good game. He scored a goal. It wasn't an easy chance when you look at the XG because there were bodies in the way, edge of the box, but he took it beautifully. And when I saw that, I was like, wow, this guy. I thought when he scored the first penalty, I thought that, it's just penalties. Then he scored 2 open play goals to show that, yes, he's a real striker. And once again, he's delivered. But I think Cape Verde made very good use of the ball. You can see their possession, 36.4% to 63.6%. And I think it goes in line with the pattern the Cameroonians have shown. The Cameroonians are probably one of the better possession teams in the tournament. Okay. You look at the way they keep the ball, they pass it well, they have a nice slow tempo, they control the midfield, and it's great to watch. They are looking like a very good possession side. I think they'll be very difficult to play against later in the competition because if they score early and they keep the ball, they're going to have a lot of difficulty getting it back.
I would love to see how they react to a team that keeps the ball.
Which team keeps the ball?
Nigeria? Well, the Nigerians look like they're
go into
team
that
in
later. Don't worry.
Maybe.
We'll go into all of that. But then I like something that the Cape Verdeans did. Is that the right thing?
Yeah, that's the right demo.
So they only took their shots in the box. So you can see they took 4 shots and all of them in the box. So they made very good use. They tried to get close to goal before they shot. And when you see the finish, nice ball across the face of goal. Those are some of the best chances in football because the ball is coming, the keeper has to move, and it was an excellent finish by him. I think the improvisation made it look excellent. But look, that's great chance creation right there.
It's a difficult chance to score.
It's a very difficult chance, but the location makes it a high value chance.
And the presence of mind.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the type of area you want to put the ball into, and Cape Verde did that very well. Like you can see, their pass accuracy 73% to 87%. So they weren't keeping the ball nearly as well as the Cameroonians, but they were fast and direct. They got it into the box and they took advantage of it, created better chances because the Cameroonians took a lot of shots, but 8 outside the box of their 14. So they didn't really use the ball as well. And an XG of less than 1 with 14 shots shows that they weren't making the right decisions a lot of the time with the ball. So that may be a concern later, but we've seen them create high quality chances against Ethiopia. So I'm not too concerned for them. This might have been a bad match. Like you said, they rested some players. Some players came in, so this is not their full strength squad. And Cape Verde needed the result more than Cameroon. So I don't think we can draw any definitive conclusions. But if Cape Verde keep playing like that, if they are one of the better third place teams, they'll be dangerous to play in the next round.
All right, we'll see. The Sharks of Cape Verde hoping to bite. But for now, they'll just have to keep their teeth in check and see if they'll get the chance to progress to the round of 16. The other game that was played at the same time, both games kicked off at 4. It was another end-to-end game involving Burkina Faso and Ethiopia. Lovely finish by the Burkinabes to set things off there. And I always said the competition would open up, the goals would become nicer to watch. And there you have it. A lovely long-range pass. Player brings it down and lobs the goalkeeper.
How long did it take Bertrand to recover from COVID again?
A few days.
It's like he tested positive for COVID. 2 days later, he's back playing. And he missed only the second game.
Yeah.
It's not even been 5 days since their second game. And he's back playing. So that must be a very good thing. But yeah, I agree with you. Lovely finish. Wonderful goal from the Burkinabes. From that moment, I mean, I thought they had it in them. Usually, more especially because, the Ethiopians don't score, So to have them give it away the way they did, I was a little bit disappointed. I definitely expected Burkina Faso to go in and close this in because, I talked about the fact that they have disappointed, underperformed for many AFCON tournaments, and then they come in here just like they did in the first game against Cameroon. They take the lead and then they give away a very cheap penalty. And this is the third penalty they've given away in this competition. Probably the most by any team so far. It's unacceptable that in 3 matches you've conceded 3 penalties. Something isn't right with the Burkina Faso team, and they have to fix that if they want to do well in the knockout phases. Because at the moment, obviously, they've secured their place in the round of 16, and but to be a team that is capable of doing greater things, then I think that is one area that they have to really check, because I can't see why it would be okay for a team to concede 3 penalties in 3 games.
3 penalties in 3 games. Daniel, your thoughts? The Burkinabes are through. I think all of us predicted Cameroon and Burkina Faso going through, and yes, they've lived up to expectation, even though Cape Verde looked like they could sneak in.
Just to continue from where Fent left off, and that's a serious problem, because if you've watched them throughout the competition, I'm talking from face value, but they look like a very difficult team to break down.
Okay.
So if you are being hard, it's very difficult for teams to open you up, and you are giving goals away by silly penalty decisions, then you have a problem. It means your game plan could easily be undone. Against Cameroon, that's what happened.
Yeah.
2 silly penalties and they lost the game. This was a game they should have got 3 points, because they dominated. They had it under control. They were just 1 goal away from cementing it, and it looked like they would have been able to decide when they wanted to score the second goal. It was that comfortable, and all of a sudden, a penalty decision, and it's 1-1. And on another day, or in the knockout rounds, you could easily come back and rule these mistakes that you make. So it's something they need to watch. They need to be a bit less rash in the penalty box. Understand that there's also VAR, so some things will not go away from the eye of the referee. So then, the discipline needs to be in the box. If your game plan is going to be compact and prevent teams from creating chances, then when the balls enter the box and you can control them or control the action by not giving away silly or not committing silly mistakes.
Awareness level has to be high.
Concentration needs to be high, because 3 goals conceded in this competition, all by the penalty spot. It's poor.
All right, the Burkinabes certainly do have a lot to do, according to my guys in the studio. Let me read some of your messages. This one is from Apreku Emmanuel, aka Sports Daniro. I'm just reading it. Sports Daniro. I'm reading what I say.
Danilo.
No, Daniro. Yeah, I don't know what it means.
Daniel and Ronaldo combined.
Yes, Daniro.
Okay.
It says Black Stars will win by 4-0 and qualify for the next stage. This one says, why is that every star player in the tournament, like Salah, Mane, want to prove their name, but Ghana's stars, they don't want to do so? Look at Partey, Jordan, and so. Haruna Tijani from Kumbungu in the northeast region. This one says, in the match against Gabon, Babaraman should have been experienced enough to know that he should have put the ball out of play deep into the opponent's half so the Black Stars can organize well. Especially at that time when you are leading in the game, you have to defend well. That's Raphael from Tema. He sends that particular message. More messages are welcome on the number 0550-585832. We'll take a very, very quick break. When we come back, we've got more. We look ahead to the 4 games that will be played today, including Ghana versus Comoros. It's a very, very important game for the Black Stars. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. This is the AFCON Daily Show on Citi TV. Welcome back. This is the AFCON Daily Show on Citi TV. My name is Nathan Carl, Daniel Kranting, Fento Tahiru, and Susu Graham are my wingmen for today. All right, let's move it on to the matches that will be played today. They are very, very important games, very, very, crucial matches. Most of those things will be happening in Ghana's group. Now, Ghana will take on Comoros, and Gabon will face Morocco. So that's how Group C looks like. That's the state of play before everything begins. Morocco on 6, a goal difference of +3. Gabon on 4, a goal difference of +1. Ghana on 1 point, a goal difference of -1. And Comoros on 0, a goal difference of -3. So as things stand, Comoros, they are Charlie's on way. We don't even know what they are doing. Ghana has a goal difference of -1 and a point. So for the Black Stars to head into the positive side or head onto the positive side of the number line, they need to start scoring goals. 1 goal means that difference is 0. 1 more +1, and then they build from there, because it could come down to the number of goals you are able to score. Since there's no head-to-head, you haven't played any other team from any other group. So, guys, that is the state of play. But let's talk about that game against Comoros. We know what the Black Stars must do. They must win. Right. And have a chance. I saw the back page of the Daily Graphic, and they borrowed the basketball term, so be familiar. Win or go home.
Milovan said they don't want to go home.
So they want to stay.
So today they have to do everything possible to stay.
How can they correct the wrongs of the previous 2 games?
First of all, I have to say though that I have not been impressed with their preparations for this match.
Why?
They've had injury problems.
Mm-hmm. Baba Idrisu.
Baba Idrisu is out of the competition now. Sandan is out of the competition, even without kicking a ball. He was our own Sunday in Bah. We never used him, and unfortunately, that's not going to happen. Milovan's pre-match press conference also created more issues than
Is Mubarak Wakaso fit?
Wakaso, we know Wakaso's story.
Yeah.
But I have to say,
Christopher Nimley said he could replace him, so maybe.
Yeah. And he showed us how fit he was.
In that very epic warm-up video that...
He showed us how fit he was. So I'm just building a point and saying that when you have a country as powerful a football country with as passionate a citizenry as Ghana has,
mm-hmm.
and you go to the Africa Cup of Nations, and you're staring group stage elimination in the face, the last thing you want to tell the people is give them excuses. It appears to me at Milovan's pre-match press conference, he was already preparing a narrative to get out, or wriggle himself out of trouble with all of the excuses and the foundations he was laying. And I'll say, excuse number 1, for the 3rd press conference in a row, Milovan has complained that he didn't have enough time to prepare, and that the team's poor performances have been due to a lack of adequate preparation.
Okay.
The question is, how many teams have actually have adequate preparation before this competition?
Okay.
Every team has faced exactly the same problems. The COVID situation, travel complications. Some teams, including Gabon, the team that Ghana failed to beat in their own group, they missed 2 key players in their team. Patrice Deveau is not out there making excuses about why he didn't beat Ghana. and that is because Aubameyang and Mario Lemina were both, were both ill, both had COVID. Now they've even made the decision to send both of them back. Those two are their two biggest players. That is basically saying, imagining that Ghana didn't have Thomas Partey and Andre Ayew. That's what Gabon came into the competition with. They're making do with what they have. All right? Nobody has had the most ideal preparations. Okay. He's not the only coach that came in a few months into the AFCON. Some of them even came in weeks before the AFCON. And he has been with this team for quite some time. So he should know how to get the best out of this team, even giving him the less than ideal grade. Number one, number two. And you see, and I saw some of the defense that's come his way about his comments regarding Asamoah Gyan not being in this team. Mm-hmm. He was asked a question about what similarities he could draw from the 2010 team and this one, and whether or not he thinks that he can repeat the exploits of 2010. And he said he can't, because this team doesn't have Asamoah Gyan. There are 24 teams in the tournament. All right? All 24 of them don't have Asamoah Gyan. But they are aiming for the final of the competition.
But some have got strikers in good form.
They have got strikers in good form. That's okay. That's why Milovan's job is to pick the team and not anyone else's job. It's his job. He has known Gyan has not been there for a long time. We don't need to be told. You see, and that's the point. It's not that he's wrong. He's right. This team doesn't have Gyan. That's correct. But the point I'm making is that when you say that, after picking the team, one, this is an indictment on the current crop of players that he has.
Okay.
It is one, you see, words are powerful. Mm-hmm. So it is okay for Milo to have said, oh, the two teams are different. The players we had then and the players we have now.
Could it not be that's what he aimed to say?
I can't get into his mind. I can only use the words that he used. And I'm saying that, judging the temperature of the situation, the pulse of the situation, I think that was the wrong thing to say. Because one, you're basically saying that without Asamoah Gyan, this team is not capable of
replicating
the performances from 2010.
Look, I think it's very important we put some things into context. Mm-hmm. And I think Fent is taking the quotes out of context.
Okay.
If you watch the video,
yes,
the question that has generated this whole misunderstanding, which is very unnecessary, was a very specific question.
Okay, what was the question?
The question was, Milovan Rajevac, you took this team back in 2010 to an AFCON final. They went to a World Cup quarter-final. When you look at that team and you compare it to this one, what did you have going for you then that gave you those results that you think you are lacking now? And he says no. They are two completely different teams. In 2010, I inherited a team that had majority of players win a 2009 Under-20 World Cup. Yeah. I took the team to the CHAN. I took them to an AFCON, and I took them to a World Cup. So it was a collective process for about 2 years. I had to work with the team. Plus, that team had some incredible talent, like Asamoah Gyan. Mm-hmm. This team also has incredible talent, but it's just been 5 months. How is that making excuses?
Okay.
That is answering a specific question, telling you where he started with that team and where he got to, and telling you that this particular team
is only 5 months.
It's only 5 months. He's not saying that this team doesn't have Asamoah Gyan, so this team won't qualify. He never ever said, never in that press conference, he never said that this team cannot replicate what the 2010 team did. So that is it is not true. It is very incorrect. Milo did not say this team cannot replicate what there's no Asamoah Gyan. It was a very specific question, and he gave a very specific answer. So I think it is very unfair to Milo to infer and pick some aspects of that answer and generalize it. Because if you listen to the rest of the press conference, there were so many quotes where he said, we don't want to go home. We are going to give our best. The team is ready to take on Comoros. So why would you intentionally ignore those parts and then pick an answer or a specific answer and infer it and make it look like he's giving excuses? I don't think that is giving excuses.
Let me finish.
If you ask Luis Enrique, if he's coaching the Spanish team, or let's ask Pep Guardiola and ask him, Pep, you won 6 out of 6 in your first season with Barcelona.
Yes.
You are with Man City. You've not won 6 out of 6. What did you have going for you in that Barcelona team that you don't have? And then he tells you that, oh, that team had this, he had this, he had this.
Then I had
this
Messi.
team is equally also good, but that team had Messi. This team, I was with Barcelona my entire life. This team, I just came, it will take time. Is he saying that because he doesn't have Messi, he can't do it? No, he's not saying that. That's not what he's saying.
Okay.
He's telling you what was good. He's answering the question, the specific question that was answered. So I think it's very unfair for us to say.
I think
honestly, it's rather more irresponsible of the journalists to twist it like that
And
on the night of a very important game. That's more irresponsible.
Okay,
in journalism, some things are key. You can speak for 5 minutes. You can speak for 10 minutes. It is a journalist's job to pick what is important in there, what means something to them. And for some journalists, it is that part. We don't have to come and transcribe
but also the job of the journalist is to properly interpret what the person is saying and distribute it.
Those who want the angle of we don't want to go home, they did it. No, we don't want to go home. It's on the website.
It is also the
we don't have a Samoan. It's also there. So I'm saying
it is also the job of the journalist to properly interpret what is happening and distribute it. You don't infer. What I'm saying is that if you listen to the question and you listen to the answer, you understand what he's saying.
Press conference. Do we all around this table agree that the journalist asked a specific question that said?
Every question is specific.
I get it. But he asked the question that sought to probably find out the differences between this current team and the team back in 2020.
Yeah, no.
Do you think it's a fair assessment to make?
No. You see, the question is legit.
It's a legit question.
Yeah, of course. I mean, coaches get asked to compare teams all the time. Yes. I am just saying that for Milovan Rahevac, when it comes to the team that he has now, I think all of the factors that he stated, everybody knows that he had been with the previous team much longer than he's been with this particular team. The talent is not the same either. But I'm saying to specifically mention Asamoah Gyan's name, I'm saying even if he meant no harm, all right, like you're both saying that people are probably twisting it. Okay. Even if he meant no harm, the specific mention of Asamoah Gyan
for you says a lot.
Yes, as a quality lacking in the team that he has now, compared to the one that he had.
When you use the word lack, it means a completely different thing. He was specifically talking about the 2010 team. He didn't say this team lacks Asamoah Gyan. He said that team had incredible talent like Gyan. And then he went on to say this team equally has good enough talent. But the key phrase, yes, of course, the key phrase as to why this team is not replicating those results.
Then he made a point about time.
Yes, but you're telling me that if he said that team had Gyan, that doesn't automatically imply that this team doesn't? That's what it means. So I'm saying
that is intentionally deciding not to understand what he's saying.
Logic.
Okay, thank
That's how logic works.
So
what he's saying is that team had Gyan. This team doesn't. He doesn't need to tell me that this team doesn't have Gyan for me to know that that's what he's saying.
All right.
It's logic.
Fine. So this team doesn't have Asamoah Gyan.
Yes.
Granted.
Yeah. And I'm saying that particular comparison that he made, he was asked to compare, and he did. And for him, specifically, one of the things that team had that this team doesn't have is Asamoah Gyan. He mentioned it. I didn't. I'm not the one mentioning the name. He did. And I'm saying that the statement basically does not put into context the times we live in. Do you understand?
It does. We have when a team. You consider the question he was asked.
We have a team that is currently so divisive. And you and I know this. And we have a certain agenda against Jordan Ayew and his brother. And we cannot turn a blind eye to the fact that tensions exist.
Yes.
So when you go to that extent, and you mentioned just Gyan, you say that team also had Andre Ayew. He didn't say that team had Andre Ayew at his prime, and this team had Andre Ayew at 32 years old. That's not what he said. He said that team had Gyan. So I'm saying that, okay, and this team doesn't. And I'm saying that statement lacks context. And that is why it has created the sort of tensions that is created.
Okay, fine. So
what do you think this would mean for the confidence of a player like Jordan Ayew?
I get where you are going.
That's why I'm going. And I'm not saying that, like you both, and Daniel has made the point, and I agree, that perhaps that's not what Milo meant.
Yes.
But I'm saying that the statement basically was very insensitive when you look at it from the broader sense. So it lacked a proper understanding of context. That's all I'm saying. And I'm saying that instead of us now focusing on the build-up to the game,
we are now
on the
focusing
pitch,
on this.
guys, inevitably,
we are here. No problem. The Black Stars, will play tonight. Whether we like it or not, the Black Stars will play.
Decided to intentionally speak what to say.
Susu, I don't know what you've got to tell us.
I would say, even if he was saying directly that we don't have Asamoah Gyan, I don't think it's an unfair point because this team lacks a striker. And Asamoah Gyan scored over 50 goals for Ghana. This is someone who delivered for the Black Stars time and time again. Andre Ayew is doing that, but Andre Ayew is not even a goal scorer in the same sense. Andre Ayew has played close to as many games as Asamoah Gyan and has scored about half the goals. He's done very well for the Blacks. I think he's one of the best players to ever put on a national team shirt, without exaggeration. But to say that we lack Asamoah Gyan, even if that's what he meant, it's not an outlandish statement considering our lack of goals right now. I just want to say it's tough because also he's speaking to an interpreter. It's a whole thing. So it's even difficult for us to even know what he actually said and whether his interpreter said something different. This is another angle of it I think we should also be thinking about because we don't know what he said. We don't speak Serbian. So it's very difficult for us to say that he said exactly this. I add a layer of complexity to this situation.
I completely get you.
In fact, and the angle you see, and the angle Susu is introducing, it could also actually mean that he actually meant that Gyan was far better than all the players.
No, I mean that's now stretching.
Has sort of played it.
That's now stretching. I just want to say this. I think Susu's introduced an interesting point. Right? Now,
which is a fair one, to be honest.
Somebody like me with a translation background, I completely understand.
I agree.
And sometimes in the art of interpreting a thought, you may either gloss over the detail or you may probably over-explain a detail.
I get it.
Nathan, just quickly before we go, and thankfully we are in Ghana and this is a Ghanaian station, so we can talk about Ghana all
of course.
I think everybody has to play a part. You can criticize the Black Stars all you want.
No doubt.
And we have every right to criticize them when it's not going our way. But times have changed. We are in a day and age where a player goes for training. He's done. He picks up his phone. He can see everything that everybody is saying. This is not 2006 where when they flew to Germany and were criticizing them back in Ghana. They will have to pick a newspaper or somebody in their family will have to call them and tell them exactly what people are saying. So usually, if they left with the goodwill of the country, even after a first defeat, they didn't necessarily know what was going on in the country. Mm-hmm. They were still focused. But times have changed. If you watch the English and the way they support their team, nobody ever says anything negative during the tournament. When it's done, then they take one player, one manager, one this, and slaughter them. I think that's how it should be because it's very critical. Honestly, if I'm a player and I genuinely go out trying to do my best and I have a bad day, let's say Partey has a bad day, and he picks up his phone after the game against Gabon, and it is bash after bash, and you like Arsenal more than Ghana, and you are this, and go, and you shouldn't start, and blah, 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 and he goes onto the pitch against Comoros, and after 5 minutes, he already makes a mistake. How do you think that's going to affect his game?
I get you.
Honestly speaking, if we really want the team to succeed, look, there's nothing wrong with taking your anger aside, supporting them with everything. When they come back and they don't do what you, that's when you can bash them. But this is a night before a critical game, and we have Ghanaian journalists, and I'll use the word, I'm not afraid, intentionally spinning what Milo has said. We all know he didn't mean that. And what is annoying me is that the quotes actually generated from a Nigerian journalist because the team has moved from the city.
And
most Ghanaian journalists were not there. So if a colleague from another country has brought out quotes, the first thing you should do is ask for context. That is what a good journalist does. You ask for context, you ask for the video, you ask for what question was asked. You don't just base your analysis and your opinions on the quote that has come out. And guess what? By the end of the day, when Sheikh brought the video and everybody saw, then everything died down. Aren't you ashamed of yourself? 24 hours before a critical game, and you decide to jump on a coach when you've not done background checks, you've not looked for content. It's unfair on the team and it's unfair on the coach also.
See, and that last point is very valid. It's important for journalists to always look for context. The first point, however, I completely disagree. Fans, journalists, they can lambast the team all they want. Mm-hmm. These players go through that on a daily basis for their English clubs, for their club sides. There were Arsenal fans that were up in arms against Partey because he had a couple of bad games. He took that, along with all the money that he's taking there. He can surely take that in the national team. I can't see what's wrong with that because that is it is the times we live in, and you're absolutely right. At the moment, this is what it is. You can't do without social media, and it is not only at the national team level that Ghanaian fans are angry that their team isn't doing well. It is the same. Algerian fans are doing the same to their team. The Nigerians, when things aren't going well, you should watch. It is just what it is. It's the consequences of the times we live in. Right. The fans will always say what they do. It is a job of the players to cancel all of this noise out and focus on the performance. That is your job. You chose that job for you. Okay. And you said that. So when they call you, you have a choice to say no. You came, you're playing, you live with everything that comes with it. Ideally, we would do what Daniel is saying, that everybody closes their arms and we all, even if it doesn't go well, then we all behave like him and say, Ghana will come good. No,
but Daniel does criticize it. For him,
he does. I get it, but you get the point I'm making. I'm just saying that. So I'm just saying that. As for the criticism, that one, I encourage Ghanaians to criticize. In fact, but do it constructively. Yeah, it's very important. Sometimes some people are a bit extreme, and that is not cool. Some people insult them, like how they insulted Jan's family, and then he threatened. That's getting a bit too much. But when somebody says Partey has been poor and that he's been better at Arsenal than the national team, I encourage more of that. If he's been poor, he's been poor. Don't mince words. If Jordan Ayew is not scoring, his last goal came in November 2020. That's a long time. If somebody says he's not scoring, drop him. That's fair. Drop him.
Okay.
If you are not dropping him, that's okay. That's the coach's decision. But I don't think a fan will be wrong to say drop Jordan because he hasn't scored a goal in such a long time. Those are completely fair.
Okay. Let me go to some of your messages. This one says Ghana can win and still exit the competition. Winning convincingly is the only way, and Comoros will come into the game with a strong mentality of hunting Ghana down, seeing that the big sharks like Algeria can be hunted down, and Cote d'Ivoire was upset by Sierra Leone. I strongly believe that it's up to the stars to go onto the pitch and work something strange out. Something strange. That's from Kweku Caesar, and he asked that please tell Fentu Tahiru Fentu that I like mentioning his name. Hey. Paul Mensah Ankun says, let's not shield the stars from social media bashing. Says it's worse in Europe. Interesting. This one's from Regan in Sunyani. He says, Comoros can score Ghana because the guys are too lazy. Interesting stuff there. Susu, I don't know if you have, maybe we should just take a quick break. We'll take a quick break. When we come back then, we'll take thoughts of Susu Graham as we build up to that Ghana-Comoros game. And the other game involving Morocco and Gabon, all happening in the AFCON later today. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. All right, welcome back. This is the AFCON Daily Show on Citi TV. My name is Nathan Kwao. Let's get into the Black Stars and that game against Comoros. Game is at 7 p.m. and it's happening in Garoua. The Black Stars have left Yaoundé. They are in Garoua as we speak. Susu, give us some insight into what exactly has been happening in terms of the Black Stars, patterns, things like that. For the Comoros as well, it will be the first time lots of people will be watching them closely. I'm sure people had forgotten they were in the competition.
So when I start, the first thing I want to talk about is our head-to-head record against Comoros. We've played them twice. We've won one and we've drawn one. And I saw an interesting tweet from a Comoros football account claiming that they are coming for revenge. Apparently, and I saw the video, when we drew against them in the first match we played against them in Comoros, there was a questionable offside call given against them the 81st minute or 82nd minute where they scored a goal. So they are feeling very aggrieved 6 years later and they are coming for blood. So we should watch out because I think they might be motivated if it's the same players, but we'll see. But when I talk about the stats, these stats are from the matches added together. So it's not a single game stat. So you can see we've created a similar amount of chances to them, 0.56 XG to 0.6. So we are both not creating a lot of chances when you look at it. But there's a very big difference in the XG conceded. They conceded 3.94 XG against Morocco alone. We conceded about 1.4. And our XG against Gabon was very similar. In fact, when you look at the stats, Gabon were very lucky to have even scored against either of us because in both games they were pretty poor, but that's just how it is. What I also noticed that our shots inside the box are very low as well. The two of us are not getting the box, and our shots on target are both very low. The only place I would say that there's a slight difference is in the pass accuracy and possession. They seem to be keeping the ball better. So as you can see, their average pass accuracy about 79%. I think that was very helped by their Gabon game where they had about 65% of the possession. Against Morocco, they had in the 40s, so that's where the average gets to about 50.2, 52.1. So, but they kept the ball better against Morocco than us because I think they are more of a short passing team. We like to go a bit more direct. Mm-hmm. So I have this graph here, and this is about Ghana's play style. I hope it's come up on the screen. If you notice, Ghana is sitting singularly in that quadrant by themselves. Mm-hmm. They're slow and direct quadrants. So if you notice, the teams more on the right side of your screen, they pass the ball better. So every time they get the ball, they keep an average of about 3 to 4 passes per sequence. Our average is between 2 and 2.5, which is one of the lowest in the competition. In fact, the only teams who keep the ball worse than us are Equatorial Guinea and Malawi. When it comes to our speed of attack, how fast we move the ball up the pitch, this is very difficult to quantify, but the point is we are not a very quick team when we get the ball. We don't get the ball up fast. So Tunisia and Cameroon are the only teams below us. But if you can notice, Cameroon are one of the best passing teams in the competition. I think only Cabo Verde and Cote d'Ivoire are passing as well or better than them. Tunisia are also very above the median and have very few teams above them. They have maybe 6 or 7 teams. So we pass badly and we don't move the ball forward. I think that's what's been the problem with our chance creation. I mentioned our shots yesterday, on Friday, I believe. No, Monday, sorry. Yeah. And for the people who didn't watch on Monday, this is, again, a look at the shots we've taken. Only 3 inside the box.
Okay.
So we're not taking quality shots, and we're not taking a lot of them, which is why we struggled for goals. As we all remember, Andrea Ayew's goal was great. But in terms of a statistics or chance perspective, we all can say that wasn't a chance. That was Andrea Ayew doing something out of the norm, out of the ordinary. So we have to really work on that. And I think, luckily for us, when you go back here and you look at the XG for Comoros, this is a team with a bad defense. So once their defense is not that good, I think we'll have a lot of chances to get into the box and actually make a difference, which we couldn't do against Gabon and Morocco. So things are looking up. Okay. And to quote my friend Nilate, we are winning 2-0.
All right, interesting. I love the optimistic feel and optimistic look. Daniel, your thoughts on the Black Stars? What exactly should happen today? We've already pointed out to the errors committed in the Morocco game, the Gabon game. What should happen today as they take on Comoros, knowing that they have to leave everything on the field and hope that it can work out for them as they try to progress to the round of 16?
First of all, if Ghana are going to win, then they have to be much more attacking than they've been in the first 2 games. Quicker, and direct, not allow the Comoros defense to sit back and be that compact. It's going to have to be a completely different game plan and approach, and I think it will also be influenced by the sort of personnel that Milo decides to throw on the pitch. If you watched Comoros against Morocco, they sat very deep, and this is a clear illustration. They sat extremely deep against Morocco. This is a defensive line that is almost entering the post, or the 18. If you fast forward to another sequence in that particular game, you saw them sitting extremely deep. This is a long ball coming in. Look at how far their defensive line is. And that was because they conceded possession to Morocco. Morocco had to actually play and create their chances, carving Comoros open with intricate passes, quick passing. That's how you are going to carve them open. Against Gabon in that opening game, they had a high line. And I think it's also down to the sort of opposition that they are facing. If you look at this Comoros line, completely different from what we saw against Morocco. So it looks like they adapt and they change their game plan based on who they are going to face. And of course, the sort of quality they are going to come up against. So if I'm going to sit here and guess, I'm very sure they'll sit deep against Ghana today. We don't think they'll go as high up as possible. So then the Black Stars will need to be very quick in their build-up. If you look at how Morocco were able to carve them open, I've coined my own defensive term for Comoros. I think they have that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer kind of defense where they pack a lot of bodies. Defense. Yes, they pack a lot of bodies behind the ball, but the bodies are not necessarily following an order or a pattern. So it was quite easy for Morocco to fashion out quite a number of opportunities. If you look at this from the start, it looks like this defensive area looks like it's dealt with. But once the cross comes in, we have 2 Morocco strikers beating their markers. A bit too easy there. And this was sort of a recurring theme in the game, which you saw Morocco's attacking players easily beating the Comoros markers. You look, it looks like it's dealt with. All of a sudden, we have 1, 2. He could easily slip a pass 3, but these guys are literally just watching the ball. So in terms of defensive organization, they are not the best. They have a lot of bodies in there, which might look like they are defending well. But if Ghana are smart, and that's why we have to go back to the decision making of the attacking players. We've seen that the decision making has been poor in some promising positions in the first 2 games. They have to be smart about things. Whoever has the ball needs to be aware of the movement of his attacking teammates in and around him if we are going to get something out of this game. And also, which I think is paramount in this game, the first 10-15 minutes, very important in this game. Ghana need to start fast. You need to start well. You need to start hard. Getting the first goal in the first 15 minutes, because these sort of games, as the game progresses and is still goalless, you will be there and Comoros will just sneak in and go through a set piece or something, and game plan is out of the window. So the Black Stars need to start very well in this game. They cannot afford to go into the break goalless or a go down. They have to take a lead early in the game just to assert their authority.
All right, Daniel, thank you. Friends, just quickly before we wrap it up, based on everything that has happened, the exigency of the situation, Daniel Kant has highlighted the weaknesses of the
Comoros team.
The Comoros team and all. Do you expect change in personnel? Do you think a player like Abdul Fattah Isahaku will get a look in this game and probably use what he has, the unpredictability, to try and give Ghana an edge? Just quickly before we wrap it up.
Yeah, I don't think the question is whether he will. I think whether he should. He should, and I think he should. Okay. And I actually think that a player like him could be the difference between us playing better in this game compared to the previous matches. Like Susu showed in the graphics, we progress the ball very, very slowly. Our attack is very slow. And he's one player that is very quick on the sprint. He's intelligent. He gets into spaces quite nicely. And I think he could be useful in this particular match. Another player that... And we definitely need a player that can shoot from a distance as well.
Okay.
We've shown that we don't take enough shots. We've only taken 3 shots from inside the box. The rest of the shots are coming from outside the box. Those shots coming from outside the box, what's the quality of those shots? If you want a player that can give you good shots from outside the box, Abdul Fattah is definitely one of those players. So if that is a strategy, if that is a tactical plan from the coach encouraging his players to shoot from outside the box, then you need your best shooters in the match. And I think Fattah is one of them. The other thing that could serve as well is the possible inclusion of Daniel Tre in deep midfield.
Okay.
And you see, I think a lot of people were very impressed with his performance when he was withdrawn to partner Thomas Partey the closing stages of the game against
I think
Gabon.
It was largely safe,
yes.
But maybe he couldn't progress the ball a lot more.
Considering that we hardly progressed the ball, and you look at where our one goal has come from, it came directly from a midfielder passing vertically up front. All of that, as much as I love Baba Idrisu, who works hard to win the ball, I think his passing really doesn't... Okay. It doesn't take any players out of position. It's just very predictable. Okay. It's sideways, it's backward, or is the player right next to him. And that sort of thing makes the opposition very organized, because they can predict your every move. If we had Trey in there that can pick some of those passes, that might be a good chance that we have a win in this match. But right. I don't foresee it to be easy at all.
We'll see how it goes. That game is at 7 p.m. That's when Ghana play Comoros in Garoua. We wish the Black Stars the very best. We are back here tomorrow with yet another episode. This has been the AFCON Daily Show on Citi TV. My name is Nathan Kwan. Many thanks for watching. We'll catch you again tomorrow, hopefully to discuss a Black Stars victory and passage to the round of 16. Enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe, take care, and bye-bye.